Hi Stampin' friends. Tonight we're going to be making this card. This is one that I made in a Facebook Live and I used, except for the little car, all of these are cut from the Designer Series paper. And your sentiment is cut from Designer Series paper. Even the little wreath is from Designer Series paper. So this is one example that I wanted to show you. This is actually pretty close to what we're going to make, except we're going to color all these things tonight. So you'll be able to see what I chose for that. And you can see where the little stars go on top of the trees. And then I wanted to show you this as an alternative. If you would rather have like a little town, then you can separate the house into three, different things and just color them differently and make it look like a little village. So if that's more to your liking, that's just another way to do it. I did want to show you that so that you could see kind of what I was going for on that. So to me, the first thing that you need to do is just get your card base put together, which is really simple. I used this as the base, which is one of the pieces of Designer Series paper from the Coming Home, Trimming the Town bundle. So then I cut this to put on the top. This is actually from the little Furry Friends or Freezin' Fun stamp set where it has the little swoosh. So you can use any swoosh that you have. And one thing that you just want to check is that this is bigger than the blue. You don't want any blue showing down here. If you have that, you just need to trim a micro amount off the edge of the blue so that it doesn't show. That's just something to check before you start putting your adhesive on and gluing it down to your card. Okay, so that's first, and then I just want to get it back like I was talking about. Make sure that the blue doesn't show anywhere and that it's nicely lined up as best you can. Let's see. A little scooch this direction before I scrunch it down. There we are. Okay, then on the back, I'm going to put dimensionals. I'm going to put at least 4. You want to put them at each corner, and then you can put one in the middle if you'd like, or the middle, bottom, and top. Sometimes that's a good idea, just since they're going to be mailed, that can just make it a little more sturdy. There we go. And you can see that if you wanted to, you could use the back side with all these little townhouses in the background. Totally up to you. Just something to consider. You could put your little swoosh on there. That would also be cute. Okay, and then you just want to line it up on here. Try to get it even side to side and top to bottom as best you can. Okay, and then I wanted to show you what I intended for you to do on the inside, which is just add a piece of Whisper White cardstock, the 5 1/4 by 4, as your liner inside. You just want to try to get it as even as you can. And I don't worry about the top. So like I'm trying to make sure that the bottom and 2 sides are exactly even. And then for me, whatever the top is, I don't care because it's on the fold, but you also have all this expanse of old olive up here. So to me, these 3 sides are all that really matter. And then I gave you this extra piece of the Misty Moonlight snowflake paper. And I just intended for you to put it across the bottom. And it should also, much like the other one, be longer than the white. You want to make sure of that. And then a lot of times it's nice to use some grid paper to just keep it lined up. You can just set the bottom of your card right along here, along an edge, just something that you can kind of use to see. And then I wouldn't want to use this one because those two are actually not the same. But then you want to put it here so where you can see where the edge is, and then just line it up to try and get it to be nice and straight. So there's that. Just a little bit of something on the inside. You could put more, but you don't want to get too much going on in here because then it could make the front of your card a little bit lumpy or make it where you couldn't mail it for normal price. All right, so what I have done, I wanted to show you this card one more time because if you decide to do this, you can always either decide whether to put this wreath on this house or not. The deal is it's kind of a modern farmhouse look and I couldn't decide. So that's where that will go if you make your card out like this. I tried to give everyone 2 sentiments so you could choose whichever one was most interesting for you for class. And then I wanted to show you how I colored each of the things just so that you would know how simple I colored. And I think it turned out kind of nice. So anyway, I'm also going to color the house to all go together. So it's going to be a, what would you say, a more cohesive color scheme for that. So the first thing, I'm just coloring my bow. Kind of a little bit dull, but surely doesn't take very long because it's kind of tiny. And then I'm going to color the car. First, I'm going to use the light smoky slate to color my, oh, that's the dark smoky slate. Just one second. To color the bumpers of the little VW bug. Like that. It's kind of, well, they're not really bumpers, but yeah, I guess they are. Like the little back end of the car. And then we're ready to color everything red. I missed a couple spots there. There we are. Okay, adding the red here. And for me, I just colored it normally. I didn't do a lot of extra. I think I put a little extra down here, more so than everywhere else. But other than that, I didn't do any extra adding, you know, any kind of extra shading. To me, these cards are kind of about bright colors, and that's the main point of it. Now, again, you don't have to, but I like to color the little wheels red and stuff like that. Just kind of adds a little bit of silliness. And I left white wall tires, but you could color that gray if you wanted to. That would be totally normal. And then I'm going to color the windows, but first I'm going to try to get a little bit of this red off. I had a little bit of a problem there. Got a little out of control. You can see it just kind of smushes it so that it's not as noticeable. And then all I wanted to put on that was just a little bit of this really light blue pool party. Let's see. So I'm just going to kind of go over that just a little bit to kind of color those in, just to kind of make it look like glass. Glass is kind of shiny and blue, usually reflecting the sky probably is the reason. And then for this wreath, all I did was color it with Old Olive, and I just all kind of one color. This is the dark Old Olive blend. Now this would be gorgeous if you colored it with pencils too. That would also be cute. And probably a lot of other kind of markers too. And you know, this wreath is so small, and several of the pieces are so small that it wouldn't matter if you used Stampin' Write markers. But some of the big house is kind of a little bit like a large space. So if you go like I tend to do back and forth over it, then it does end up kind of being a little bit of a mess. So just something to consider. Okay, done that. And let me see here. Where did my little trees go? I thought I'd already done those. Well, I did already do them. I just don't know what I did with them. I had 2 extra trees. Oh, here they are. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead while I'm at it and put the dimensionals on the back of each of these things. On the small tree, I'm going to use 2 small dimensionals, and then I'm going to put large dimensionals on the regular tree and the car. Set those aside. And oh, I also did want to tell you on this one, the colors I used, just so that you would know. On this one, I used the light craft or light crumb cake. Then I used light and dark soft suede. This is dark smoky slate. This is light balmy blue. This is light moonlight, misty moonlight. This, of course, is our same red, which is our light real red. No, dark real red, sorry. And then this is our grays. This is the black, the light basic black, dark smoky slate, light smoky slate. And then I used on this one to kind of give it like that modern farmhouse look, I used the light shaded spruce. Hold on, I've got sticky stuff. There we go. Light shaded spruce for the door, just to kind of make it pop. And then I put shaded, saffron in my windows. And on the other one, you can see it doesn't have the windows colored. So that's going to be something, again, that you have to decide for yourself, whether you want the windows colored or not. So that's the colors I used for that. I should have mentioned that earlier. And then I think we're ready to get started on this house. So there are several ways that you can put this house together. You can put it right in the middle like this and make that the way your house is. And that looks really cute with the wreath in the front because it's very centered and even. But then you can also put your little house over your big house. And so what you want to do if you do that, you want to put it on the door so that you only have one door. Otherwise, it looks like, you know, it's not a house. So to me, that is a cute way to do it. But you can also scooch this over here on the side, and so that this is just kind of a background piece here. And you can put this over the side here. So it's kind of just up to you what you prefer. And I popped each layer, each depth up on dimensionals. So thought I would go ahead and color this a little more closely to what is on this card so that we could show how we would color for the house all together, if that's what you're going for. And I've seen some of these on the long slimline cards like I made for the Facebook Live last week. And that looks really cute too. It's kind of a fun look. I'm going to color this brown like they did. I don't really know what that's supposed to be, but there you go. And then here, I just want to color down the line. Now, if any of these have unusual edging that bugs you, just go ahead and cut that off. I've done that a couple of times, especially some of the trees are kind of a little bit, have a little bit extra on the edge. So if there's one that's hasn't been cut and kind of bothers you, don't feel bad. Just go ahead and cut that off. So what I'm doing here is just making it kind of striped. I'm going to put the light soft suede in between. Hope I don't mess this up. That would be bad. There we go. I just need some red for the chimney. Because to me, chimneys aren't brown. They are not made of wood. And if you wanted to get extra creative, you could just go through and put in some brick, you know, make it look like little bricks with your black Stampin' Right marker with the pointy end, you know, like this. And you could, you know, turn that into bricks. That could be cute. Okay, so my goal now is to start coloring the parts that will be blue on this. So I'm using the light Seaside Spray, or no, the dark Seaside Spray, and the light Balmy Blue, because I thought that would be kind of some pretty colors to use. Okay, so here I am with the light Seaside Spray. And another thing on this, I wanted to show you, just remember when you're coloring, I really shouldn't have bothered to color that middle one, because this is going to go right over the top of it. And then like this, I was talking about earlier, how it can kind of bug you. I'm going to cut this even across the bottom here, just because that is kind of crazy looking. So my point is, you don't need to color the door on several of these. Now sometimes it's easier as you're coloring to just go ahead and color, you know, under it a little bit, and it, you know, you could show a little because you're just going to use dimensionals. My thinking on this with using light Balmy Blue instead of the light Seaside Spray is just that since it's closer, it seems like that the color would be brighter, so that's what I was kind of going for there. Looks like I need to use just a little bit of my eraser. The color lifter, which is so nice. And then now that I've done this, I'm going to go a little bit over this again with the Seaside Spray light, and just to kind of blend the two colors together so that it looks a little more true blue. Because I think that the Seaside Spray is what color that is in. You can see it doesn't hurt the brown when I just kind of go over the top just very lightly, because it's been a while since I colored it. But I'm going to go over this with, over the door with my light Misty Moonlight. So you might just want to, that's why I put a little more of the Seaside Spray, because it's in the same color family. And then it's just kind of up to you to decide whether you like the idea of having the windows colored yellow, or whether you like it to just be white, you know, just kind of personal preference. Just adding some dimensionals here. Okay, so here is my card front. I'm just gonna put this on here. I liked the idea of it being like the car is kind of driving up, so you can kind of lay your pieces out beforehand to see where you think you're gonna want them. So maybe just put that kind of like that. And then the main thing that you wanna do is put your head over it and make sure that it looks like it's straight on the card, the stamped parts. I'm just kind of centering this one in the middle, and you could do it like the other one that I did, that it was more over to the side. It's just kind of all up to you. There we are, and you can see I kind of lined up the line across the bottom more so than anything else, just so that it looks like it's all one house that way. And then I just want to put our little car over here. Then I'm going to put our wreath over this big window. There we go. And then I need to put our trees over here on the hill. Oh, I forgot to color the trunks. Let's get that done. There we go. And finally, I just need to put what I want for my sentiment. For this one, I thought most wonderful time of year was cute. And then I have started just using a piece of scratch paper sometimes when I want to put adhesive on something that is smaller than the actual width of the Stampin' seal. I just think it works really nicely to just put something under it. And then whatever gets sticky, and you can just throw it away. You know, something that's not worth anything to you anymore or whatever. So here I go. Whoops. There I go. And then the only thing that matters on this is that you want to get it straight with the bottom, however you decide you want to do that. As close as you can. Then if there's anything that's left on your card, you can always use an adhesive eraser to just get anything off that seems messy so it won't bug you. All right, so that's how this card turned out. And then remember when we made it look like a village, it was more like this card. And then when I used the Designer Series paper, it was like this card. And don't forget to put your little stars on the tops of your little trees, because that'll be super cute. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye-bye.